you're doing the kind of thing that I think a lot of people would consider like the dream, right? You're living the dream, which comes with its blessings. It comes with its challenges. Like the dream is hardly ever truly bliss, right? Like there's a lot of work that you got to put into. And for anyone who's listening, that's wanting to be where you are, that is looking at that, like I pretty much sit in my room and I make music is like the thought is like, that's all I do. That sounds like amazing if I could do that forever. Practically, what are some things you had to go through to get to where you are? And what would you encourage people who are wanting to pursue that?
Yeah. That's a great question. I think there are a lot of challenges, and sometimes I feel like you almost can't talk about them because it's like you don't want to sound like you're complaining, and then you have to sit back and be like, yeah, but I am making music every day. I guess that's kind of a nice thing to do. But yeah, I think there's a lot of challenges that I found even transitioning into doing music. I mean, purely on a practical level, like it was financially very difficult to begin with. And I think anything particularly creative, but kind of anything worthwhile takes some level of sacrifice, which will either be like time, energy, money, sometimes all of them. But there was definitely that period of like coming to the end of my design job and trying to step into music was like, I was probably working just pretty much all the time. And then it wasn't really making much money either. So there was that kind of period of just a lot of work for not a lot of return, but I think it needed that period to get to a point where it became sustainable. But yeah, I think sometimes those sacrifices are necessary. And another challenge has even been keeping the joy aspect of it, because like something that you start just because you enjoy it and just because it's a really fun outlet suddenly starts feeling like your job and starts feeling like something you just got to do and show up. And you can almost bring in the pressure, this like unspoken pressure on yourself that like, I need this to work now, so I've got to make something that connects with people. And there's a lot of mindset stuff. Like you can very easily to get into the whole comparison trap, you know, looking at what other people are doing. Should I be doing that? You know, there's always those milestones of like, I've reached here, but somebody else is here. And I think you never ever get to a point where it's like, I have now made it. I've got to that point that I'm happy with. But I just had to learn to like settle and be content exactly where I was and stop trying to strive for something else or compare to what other people are doing. And just be happy to like be in my lane and be here at all. So, there's definitely a lot of, I guess, mental stuff that goes on with it, and a lot of those kind of challenges, as well as some very practical ones. But it is still great. And, you know, being able to create something that's meaningful and has a meaningful connection with other people is just a beautiful thing. And I am very grateful for it, despite its challenges.